my personal writing style, I'm very poetic when I write. I try to, even when I'm writing something very formal, I try to, I try to put my know-it-allness, my poetry words into it. Especially alliteration. I love alliteration. You guys know what that is?
Not off the top of my head right now.
Alliteration?
With
It's
an A,
in
not
my
with an I.
mind. Is it the way you say the
No,
word? I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no.
I don't know.
That's articulation.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I thought it
Well,
was.
this is a complete guess, but using the way you say it, and perhaps at first setting up a pattern, and then
Kind of.
and then at the end
Alliteration is
subverting
specific.
it.
No, alliteration is specifically when you use the black blood boiled. Bees, bees, bees. One of the book that I wrote my thesis on to get my English degree, Wuthering Heights, my favorite line in the whole book was, "The way the worms writhed." It was so, the W's and the R's, it was very... Alright, so I like alliteration myself personally. A Viking told me once at the Renaissance Fair that Vikings liked alliteration in olden time English as the most poetic thing instead of rhymes, and that's why that's part of it. So, hint hint, if you use alliteration in your writing, I'm going to like it. Alright, and so that's a little bit of a risk I take though, isn't it? Trying to be all poetic when I'm writing, even when I'm writing formal stuff. What do you guys think? How do you guys think that some of your authors might have used risk taking to their advantage, and how do you think that that might have helped them, especially Stephen King?
He a lot of the times breaks a lot of writing rules.
I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
All the time. All the time he breaks his own rules.
I don't know if they're his rules, but he does
Not
break
yeah,
the
no,
rules.
but yeah, he breaks the rules of writing all the time. But it makes it that much better because it's so much more. When he's writing a certain character, depending on who they are, he's writing the way that character would have said something, or that character he gets into their head, instead of it just being okay, this is how you should write it out. He'll take out if it's because and someone says cuz, it's cuz is in there, and it's not because it's not written the way it should be. It's totally the way they would have said it.
I remember one time I wrote something and I had somebody look at it and I said that somebody had a lisp. And they were like, "But I want to hear the lisp. You just said it the one time. I want to actually hear it in the dialogue."
Yep.
So when you write Mark Twain actually went down to all the areas that he wrote his books about and studied all the dialects so that all the dialects would be exactly how they were in Mississippi or wherever it was.
Dialects are very hard to write, I've found.
The different dialects? Yeah, because that's not how you talk.
And this is not exactly about writing, but I know that Hal Linden, who played Barney Miller, he would go to the different, this is more acting than writing.
Yeah.
But he would actually go to the police precincts in Manhattan and listen to see how the police spoke, so that when he acted,
He would sound like
he
Yeah.
would sound
Yeah.
correct.
It's the same. It's the exact same idea.
Yeah. If you're telling a story about someone, it wouldn't really work out if you wrote it properly and they speak broken English.
I also remember asking your advice in the past, and I wanted to write a piece, and I asked you, can I start a sentence with "and" or something like that? And you're like, it's your writing.
Is that exactly what I said?
Yeah, I think so. You said, it's your writing. That might not be what the rules say, but it's your piece to write.
I believe at one point you even said that in formal settings such as the classroom, probably don't break the rules, but if you're
I was going to
writing
get to
your
that.
own...
I had a college professor. He was a doctor, actually, Dr. Cotter. He
Okay.
said how a bunch of famous authors made a lot of got their works famous by breaking a lot of rules, such as Stephen King. However, in an academic setting at school, while you're writing formal pieces such as a persuasive essay, I would like to see norms followed and not as many risks taken. But I wanted to get to the point that in narratives, risks sometimes can really do a good job.
No, so I should cross this. Oh, no, just kidding.
Or this is specifically about narratives. I wanted you guys to have more freedom to design your writing styles than have a specific task I wanted you to do. If you want a specific task, I will give you one if that's something that would help you, though, too.
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay.
I wanna
Super
write
good.
my-